Hey, what is going on guys, RvzStealth here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at some of the best team comps that you can run for teamfight tactics for patch 9.50. Alright, so to start it off here is going to be 6 Sorcerer, 3 Void, and 2 Brawler. So this is one of my favorite compositions for this patch right now. 3 Void, very easy to get off the bat with your Kassadin, your Rek'Sai, and your Kha'Zix. Void changes in this patch were really nice. Now they deal true damage, so it just allows you to have a pretty strong early game there with those 3 Void champions. In the mid game, you're going to want to be looking for a Cho'Gath, an Ahri, a Lulu, and a Veigar. And then for your late game, you want to be picking up the Karthus and the Aurelion Sol there. So this composition, it does get even better this patch with the demon nerfs as well. The demon nerfs, we're going to be seeing less of them, so it does make sorcerer champions much better. Going for Void is even better in this patch as well because all the Void champions got individually buffed. Kassadin, Rek'Sai, Kha'Zix, and Cho'Gath all got buffed on 9.15, so not only did the Void bonus get changed, the champions got buffed too, so it's just a very solid comp to run in 9.15. If you can reach your late game with this comp, it's just super nasty. You grab your Cho'Gath, the Karthus, and the Aurelion Sol there, super strong late game champions. Cho'Gath right now, pretty much in any composition, like Cho'Gath just in general is a very strong pick in 9.15. Now key items you should be looking to pick up, Archangels is a great option on your Karthus there, Rapid Fire Cannon, really good on the Cho'Gath. You can get the Spirit on the Aurelion Sol, and then a Death Cap on your Aurelion Sol, your Cho'Gath, or your Karthus. So a lot of different options there, but generally speaking, you do want to be buffing up either your Cho'Gath, your Karthus, or your Aurelion Sol. For another really good Void composition, you've got 3 Void obviously, 4 Brawler, you've got 2 Glacial, and then 3 Elementalists. So this team composition here, really good Brawler comp. You're just super tanky with this composition. You're gonna have the Cho'Gath and the Volibear with this comp, who are 2 of the strongest individual units in the game at the moment, which does make this comp that much better. So for how you're going to want to look to play this composition, pretty similar to the last one. So early game, be looking for your Void champions, try to get the Void bonus early on, grab a Blitzcrank as well so you can get the Brawler bonus with the Rek'Sai. Mid game, always be watching for that Cho'Gath and the Volibear. You can grab a Lissandra as well, and you can work towards your Elementalist bonus. And then in the later stages of the game, look out for the Kennen, look out for the Anivia. Once you can place your Kennen and your Anivia in, you grab the Glacial and the Elementalist bonus. So later on in the game, this comp becomes just very, very strong. And then for item prioritization, Cho'Gath and Volibear are usually the 2 best options, so grab a Rapid Fire Cannon on either Cho'Gath or Volibear. Curse Blade on Volibear is super good. The Cho'Gath with a Morellonomicon is really good, so Cho and Volibear, look to be buffing them up if possible because they are very strong units at the moment. So for the third composition, it's going to be a Glacial Ranger comp. So 4 Glacial, 4 Ranger, 2 Phantom, and 2 Knight. So this composition did get some nice buffs in this patch. Guardian did get buffed to where your allies are now going to be receiving 50 armor per stack instead of 40. Braum and Leona will no longer receive the stacking though from the Guardian bonus, but their base armors both did get buffs. So as solo units now, Braum and Leona are stronger. So when you don't have that Guardian buff, the Braum or the Leona are going to be a bit tankier, are going to be a little bit stronger as a frontline unit. With the 50 armor per stack now from Guardian, it's going to make it even more difficult to kill the adjacent units. Ashe got a buff in this patch too. Kindred got a buff in this patch as well. So there's just a lot of buffs to this Glacial Ranger composition in 9.15. In the early game, 2 champions you do want to be looking out for are the Mordekaiser as well as the Vayne. Try to grab the Garen and the Fiora as well. You can run like a Noble Knight composition to start it off here to get past your early game. Once you do reach the mid game, be looking out for the Ashe, the Braum, the Varus, and the Kindred. If you can get an early Kindred there, then you can get a very early Phantom, and that can really help you out in the mid game. And then later on into the game, be looking out for the Leona and the Sejuani. Once you do get those 2 champions, then your composition is going to be rounded out. So it's actually not very difficult to make this composition work. Like Leona and Sejuani are both 4 cost units, so it's not like you need a 5 cost unit or anything to make this composition work. So it is going to be a pretty consistent one to go for here in 9.15. And then for your item prioritization with this comp, be looking to grab a Frozen Mallet if you can, put that on your Vayne, put that on your Varus to give them the Glacial, allow them to proc stuns as well. You can be looking for a Rapid Fire Cannon on your Ashe or your Varus, good option there. Sojin on your Ashe, Static Shiv on your Ashe or your Varus. Those are the two champions you do mainly want to be buffing up with this comp. You can also buff up your Kindred, but your Ashe or your Varus, along with your Vayne as well if you want, are usually the ones that you should be looking to put your items on. Alright, so next up here is going to be the Ninjas and Assassins. So this composition used to be God tier, used to be the #1 composition that you'd see like half the lobby be going for. It's definitely not on that status anymore. However, I do still think it is a strong comp and it is still a very good composition to run if you are looking to win. So Assassins, they have been nerfed a little bit recently, got nerfed again in this patch. Assassins can now be targeted sooner, Assassins are going to jump earlier and their jumps are quicker, and non-assassin champs movement is now slowed for the start of combat. However, despite those changes, Evelynn, Katarina, and Rengar got individually buffed in 9.15. So early on with this comp, you might struggle a little bit. You do want to be looking for your Kha'Zix, the Zed, and the Pyke there to get your 3 assassin bonus. In the mid game, you should be looking out for just ninjas. If you see a ninja, pick them up, even if you're not going to put them in right away. Obviously, you don't want to be putting in 2 ninjas at once, but that doesn't mean you don't want to be picking them up. So always be looking for the Shen, the Kennen, the Akali there. You should already have your Zed for the early game. Always be looking out for the Rengar, the Katarina, and the Evelynn as well. And then once you can get your 4 ninjas and your 6 assassins going, then the comp really starts to come online. You do want to be looking to buff up your Akali if possible. That's usually still the best champion to be buffing up right now. You want to try to grab an Archangel on her. You can grab a Rabadon's on her as well. You can put a Fire Cannon on somebody like a Zed for the early game, or a Kha'Zix as well. Spirit Sojin can be really strong on Shen right now. So there is a lot of different options with items for this composition. Now, a good alternative to ninjas and assassins is going for the 3 void, 6 assassin, 1 ninja, and then 2 brawlers. So this composition is a little bit stronger in the early to mid game. You're going to be getting your void champions pretty early on there, getting your 3 void buffs, so your Kha'Zix, your Kassadin, and the Rek'Sai. In the mid game, you can grab your Zed and your Pyke, and then later on into the game, once you do get your 6 assassins and your 3 void, this composition does become really strong. You also do get to go for Cho'Gath with this comp. You grab the Akali as well, so 2 of the strongest individual units in the game at the moment. So this composition here with the void buffs in this patch, really good. This comp can be a pretty good counter to the brawler compositions that we are seeing a lot in this patch right now. So just overall a pretty solid comp for 9.15. You can even transition into going ninja assassins even if you do start off with void assassins, so you can grab your void champions for the early game there. If you end up running into a bunch of ninjas in the mid game, then you can transition into ninja assassins. So there's just a lot of versatility by going for this void assassin comp. And then for items, Spirit Sojin on Pyke, really good. Archangels on your Akali, Death Cap on Akali. You can grab a Rapid Fire Cannon on your Cho'Gath along with a Death Cap. I would say that Akali, Cho, and Pyke though are the 3 that you should be looking to put your items on. And then lastly here to round out the video is going to be a new knight composition. So it's going to be 6 knights, 2 phantom, and then usually 2 imperial to round it out. So this composition did get some pretty good changes in this patch. Knights are now going to block all damage from all sources instead of just blocking damage from basic attacks. Your whole team is also going to ignore that damage. However, the damage that you do ignore is now going to be lowered by a little bit. So I do think that overall this is a pretty nice change here. All of your champions in your composition ignoring damage from all sources is a nice change here to the knight composition. A couple of the champions in the knight comp also did end up getting buffs. So Darius got a buff to his armor, Garen did, Mordekaiser did, Sej and Kayle also did. So a lot of these champions did get buffed here in 9.15, which does make the comp even better to go for. So how this composition works is that early game, very strong comp, mid game, very strong comp, late game can fall off if you're not able to find that Kayle. So it is pretty Kayle reliant in the late game. A lot of the time with this comp, you are going to be able to place top 4 hard just because early to mid game it is super strong. You're not going to be losing a ton of hit points, but if you can't find the Kayle in the late game, you're probably not going to be able to get first place. It is pretty reliant on the Kayle for you to get first place with the comp. Now in the early game, you're going to be able to get your Darius, your Mord, and your Garen very early on there, and chances are you're going to get a level 3 of one of those champions pretty early on in the game. Mid game, be looking out for your Kindred there to get the early Phantom. That's really going to help you out. Grab the Poppy as well, and then later on be looking out for the Sedge, the Kayle, and the Draven, or either the Swain. So you want to get the 2 Imperial buff there, so either grab the Draven or the Swain depending on which one you do find. In the background gameplay there, I did have a level 2 Swain because I just found a lot more Swains in this game than I did Draven, so you can put either one in and both are going to do a lot of work for you. And then for item prioritization with this comp, early to mid game, I try to grab a Morello there on your Garen. That is very strong right now. Later on into the game, if you can grab a Sojin and a Rage Blade on your Kayle, that can be great. If you can grab Rapid Fire Cannon and a Bloodthirster on your Draven, that can do a lot of work for you. So the only 2 champions I'd probably stay away from buffing up with this comp would be the Darius and the Mordekaiser. So that is going to be all for this video, guys. These are a bunch of compositions that are very strong right now in 9.15. There's definitely a lot more as well. I think that in this patch right now, there's a lot more comps, a lot more diversity that you can go for. So there's definitely a couple that I did leave out of this video that are strong too. So if you do have a comp that you like to play right now that you think I should have had in the video, let me know down in the comments below. With that being said, guys, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have yet to already. So thanks for watching, have an awesome day, and I will see you in my next video.